Leave me alone, leave me alone. Please go away, please go away. Oh god, what is this thing? Do I go this way? Okay, not this way. Maybe this guy's safer to be around. Okay, no. This is crazy and all, but what if these two fought each other? When it comes to the two entities haunting the game of TO2, there are no bigger threats than the Serverblight and the Anomalies. So my question is, who would win if these two were in the same place and were to go against one another? I wanted to do this because, kind of like how people would speculate on if Alien or Predator would win before the movie came out, I thought I would do Serverblight versus Anomalies before someone does a full-on animation of those two fighting. But not only am I going to compare the two, but I'm going to see which one is most likely to beat the other. Now, I will say that I have to base this on the existing episodes of each series we have so far, and this is something that could change based on what happens in each series. But for now, let's go ahead and start. First, we have to start with the most obvious, and that's the kill count for each of these things. We have seen the Serverblight take the life of one person in episode 4 of the series, but that is the only on-screen death we have seen, where it shows what happens when you become assimilated with the Serverblight. So because of this, that means the count for how many lives this thing has taken is pretty high so far. With as of episode 4, we know that the Serverblight has taken the lives of at least 13 people, the likes of Johnny, Danny 12, Ghillie Suit, Directions, and quite a few other names that we've seen. Being that once you get into contact with it, you don't have a way of leaving the game, it will be able to reach through the game and make your soul part of its existence. Now, the Anomalies are a different story. When it comes to whether or not they have taken any lives is unclear, with most encounters with the Anomalies leading to players leaving the game or being booted from the game, but I do think that with episodes like this one, where you can see a medic and heavy get infected by these Anomalies, that is definitely possible. It's just a matter of whether or not they affect people in the real world. Not to mention they also have the tendency to move in the shadows, but the way they work also seems to be kind of like an infection or assimilation to a hive mind of some sort. So with the Anomalies, it's kind of inconclusive. So what about the intelligence of these two? How smart are they? Because with intelligence becomes the most dangerous part of how these two operate. Well, the Serverblight is different, with it seeming to be something that started off as imperfect in the beginning, with it not sure how to do most things within TF2. It could not perfectly replicate the mercs and did not know how to leave a server or replicate voice lines. But as the series has gone on, we have seen this thing learn and adapt to its environment very quickly, with episode 2 showing how it had learned to move from server to server, followed up by episode 3, which showed it learning to replicate the voices of the players that it controlled as long as the player had set it in the game that it was in. Then, it also had learned to use bait, like with Johnny Danny 12's body. And not to mention, it already has the ability to trap people within a server, with it not allowing people to disconnect unless you go out of bounds in a map, which it could only be a matter of time before it makes that weakness go away. So it's learning fast. But compared to the Anomalies, it's a different story. The Anomalies seem to be part of a hive mind, with one masterminder being that is above all of them, the Red Sniper, which seems to be smarter than the rest of the Anomalies we have seen, with most Anomalies contorting their limbs and being this imperfect looking character that attacks the players, while the Red Sniper Anomaly just stands there with the normal A pose. I'm a firm believer that the Anomalies are already intelligent, with the main reason being the white space. The white space being something that allows the players and Anomalies to travel to different servers and maps within a couple of seconds. They seem to use this as a teleport of some sort, and are smart enough to use it to go from place to place. The Anomalies also know how to blend in and pretend to be normal players, as they seem like normal players for a while, but they just do that to lure people into somewhere where they can trap them. Another thing is that the Anomalies can do things like make the server freeze, from what it looks like, and know how to infect people. But anyway, compared to the Serverblight, which seems to be growing in intelligence and doesn't really have a plan for itself other than growth, the Anomalies seem to already have intelligence and some sort of sentience and already know how to blend in with their surroundings. What about how scary each one is? Well, that's more of a personal preference type thing, but I'll give my thoughts. The Serverblight is scary because of what we know it can do, aka take the lives of players, and it's the disturbing amalgamation of different players and how it just feels like a monster overall. But the Anomalies are scary because of what we don't know they can do. Due to them having this terrifying presence and how we don't know what they can do to a player, it becomes terrifying because there are too many unknowns with them. But they are both pretty spooky in my opinion, But the main thing that would be able to tell us whether or not one would win over the other is their abilities. The abilities of these two vary, but are not too far from one another. The Serverblight can do a couple of things. The first thing being that it can, well, assimilate people through reaching out through the game, and what I can assume is taking their soul. They also have the ability of mimicry, where they can pretend to be a player and even reuse their voice lines and even use the shell of the player's body as a Serverblight's body. But for now, we only know that they can use a limited amount of voice lines set in a server at a time. They can lock a player from leaving a game, which I'm unsure if it means to do that, like trapping players in the server, or it just happens to be because it is there and it's a side effect of the Serverblight's existence. Its body can contort into odd shapes with its limbs stretching out and the hands coming out from the people it's infected. But what's also interesting is how we know that the Serverblight itself is an amalgamation of multiple players meshed into one, but it can also have separate entities that do its bidding. It's also like a hive mind, just like the anomalies. It can also make the people in the server start talking and walking like a real life person instead of moving like a TF2 character. And the Serverblight can move from server to server, but cannot be in multiple servers at once that we know of. The anomalies' abilities are similar, with it also working like a hive mind, it seems, and it has the ability to assimilate other players into its hive mind. It does not work as one big mass, with it seeming like the red sniper being the controller or leader, with everything else doing its bidding. Now, we don't know if multiple anomalies can be in different servers, but I do think it's possible. This being, rather than seeing all the anomalies at once in each video, we see really only one or two at a time, meaning that they can be probably spread out across multiple servers. This also being something that could have to do with the white space that they are fond of that allows them to teleport to different servers. They can also make a player's game crash if they want to. We also know that the anomalies have the ability to isolate a player, with it almost looking like they can disconnect a player from being online and making the rest of the players feel like nothing is going on, and then can teleport them wherever they want. They also have the ability to just move around in a game and teleport within it, not necessarily staying in one place. They also have their signature white eyes and can also similarly distort their limbs and bodies, similar to what the Serverblight does when they want to reveal themselves. So, who would win? Well, it's honestly a bit more difficult to know than I originally thought. The Serverblight seeming like it doesn't really have the ability to affect the anomalies, because the anomalies aren't even alive either, but can lock them in and prevent them from leaving. But the anomalies seem like they might have an edge because of them being more intelligent, and could possibly remove the Serverblight from the game if it came into contact with it, due to it having the ability to kick people from servers and crash games. But again, with both monsters being hive minds, it would require both of them to have an interaction where they are able to get to each other's base of the hive mind. But the Serverblight knows how to hide its hive minds while sending other lackeys to go do its work for it, but the anomalies have the ability to teleport wherever they want into a server. So it's kind of difficult to say whether or not either one would win. Overall, it's just cool to wonder who would win in this instance, so I'll ask you guys what you think and who would win with these two. And I love both these series, and they're made so well, and they're just awesome, and I can't wait to see how both of them will go. Would the anomalies win, or would the Serverblight win? That's all I got for today. Thank y'all for watching, and go check out the 2IdiotGermans channel and KiegKillsReality. And I'll see you guys later.